What's going on, guys? This is the review of the TYR Valkryie Elite running shoes. So let's talk about the build of the shoe first. So let's talk about just the upper. So on the upper, the mesh that it's made of is this hyper flex weave that is super breathable and super light. It's super also transparent. When you put your hand inside of it, you can actually see the shadows of your fingers. So it's definitely open and more breathable. You definitely can feel that when you're running as well. Then when you make your way around the shoe, you can see that it has the logo right on the toe box. And then when you go more towards the inside of the shoe, you can see it has the wing. And then when you make your way here, you can actually see a little bit of the inside panels here and on the other side of the shoe as well. And that is what they're calling their lockdown panels for more stability when you're running. And then when you make your way to the tongue, laces, and the collar, you can see that the laces are a lockdown lace. So if you want to tie them in a one knot or a double knot, it's not coming off at all. Then the tongue is gutted more to prevent shifting, so the tongue won't go towards the side of your foot as you're running. The inside of the shoe is a molded sock liner, so it can feel more comfortable and more suited for your feet as you're running. Then when you make your way to the midfoot of the shoe, it has a big cushiony bottom of it with a carbon fiber in it, which they're calling this technology their Launch PX. So honestly, it's super comfortable. You're running on clouds when you run in this shoe, and honestly, that carbon fiber does help, and we'll talk about that more in a second. Then when we make our way to the outsole, you can see it has like a waffle type of pattern on it, and then you can see the carbon fiber at the bottom right there, and it's an all rubber outsole. So a big thing that TYR does is that they build their training shoe and also their running shoe to have an anatomical build for your foot. So what that means is that TYR tries to build a shoe that has a more natural feel on your foot instead of what most running shoes have, which would be a more narrow type of foot, aka on the Nike side of their running shoe line. The heel to toe drop on this is going to be a 6mm. Then when it comes to the stack height from the heel, it's a 39.5mm, and then when we get to the toe, it's a 33.5mm. These shoes are pretty light when it comes to how big they are, or as soon as you see them, you think they're going to be like kind of on the heavier side. But this being a size 10, they came in around 8 ounces, and I thought that was pretty neat, thinking like, oh, this is going to be one of those heavier shoes. Not the case. So let's talk about how the shoe performed when it came to long distance. For me, I'm not a marathon runner. I have never done a kind of race, so I use these primarily for longer runs, but not for, let's say, 5 or more miles. I've definitely done a 5-mile in these, but majority of my training involves interval training, and it involves maybe a 3-mile run at most, either straight through, or we're talking about intervals of 400s until a 3-mile is reached, something like that. So these keep you on a right pace when you're trying to run for a longer distance. I definitely felt that it helps me keep a good pace. The thing about this is the cushioning for me. The cushioning on these is like very responsive. You can definitely feel like in every step, you're not striking on your heels. Actually, to be honest, one of the main points about this shoe is going to be this curve here that it has at the toe. Honestly, the toe here is when you want to land on more of the midfoot and not land here on more of your heels. I land more here, and the curve here kind of forces you to land every time you step, and then it doesn't give you a chance to really land on your heels. So that's a good part about how this shoe is built, even on a treadmill or I'm running outside. I have run on the outside with these shoes, not that much, to be honest. I do most of my running on a treadmill, but I did run a little 2-mile run on these, and it definitely felt comfortable. It also feels like you kind of rock in every step, so this kind of build shows makes me feel that I'm kind of like land here and I'm still rocking back and forth, even though it's not really curved at the back, but here is where it makes its money. One thing I noticed when I was running in them on the treadmill or even on the road is how stable they TYR. I truly feel that these are super stable, and every stride I honestly felt like I was keeping the same pace and I wasn't going side to side when I run. I know myself as a runner that I tend to run side to side and kind of bump into things when I'm running, but I definitely felt that this shoe was stable enough to keep me in one path as I was running. Overall, I was really happy with this type of shoe. It has improved my running significantly, and I can definitely helps me out with training when it comes to running. However, the price tag on these is $250, and that might be a little steep if you're just an intermediate runner or not really getting into running that much. In the CrossFit space, we run, but we don't run like marathon runners, and TYR has a bunch of other lines that are on the cheaper side when it comes to running. Definitely think that if you're trying to improve your running and you want a really good shoe and price is not really a big problem for you, then these definitely are a good buy. But if you're looking just to have a shoe just to run in occasionally in some type of WODs, then I would say you can go with another part of their running shoe line if you really need to. $250 is a lot, honestly, and even when I bought them I was a little skeptical, but I am here to say that the $250 is definitely worth it if you are more into running than intermediate or just getting into running. I think TYR made a really good attempt at a racing type shoe, even though they're new into making types of shoes for CrossFit, and now we're talking about maybe races. Shoes have definitely become probably #1 in my rotation of running shoes. It used to be the Nike Vaporfly 3s, but after running in these on the pavement on the outside and on the treadmill, multiple hours of training, I will say these are really good running shoes and on my #1 in my rotation. I will say, however, they're not the most versatile running shoes out there. I've definitely tried to do deadlifts in them and just to see if they're stable or if I could do something in a WOD if it came up. But honestly, the only thing I would really do in these shoes is shuttle runs, not even box jump or anything like that. I feel like they're not stable enough and not quick enough to turn when it comes to plyometric movements, and I feel like they are not flexible at all for burpees and things like that. So overall, these are great running shoes, but not the most versatile shoes if you're looking for a more Swiss Army knife running shoe. Head to the TYR.com just if you're looking to snag a pure running shoe that is really good. And however, if $250 is too much bang for your buck, they have other running shoes that are more on the cheaper side of that. Guys, please subscribe to the channel. I'm getting a big please subscribe to the channel, guys. Like this video, share it with people who want to know more about training shoes and running shoes. Comment in the section below just to let me know what you guys want more reviews of. If you want me to go deeper into products in the CrossFit and cross training space, or you want me to continue to do more training shoes, or if you want me to go into specific shoes such as running, barefoot shoes, and things like that. Comment in the section below and let me know. I'll see you guys on the next one.